everybody. You're listening to another episode of Loud About Nothing. It's me, your boy, the hottest dude in the podcast game, Sebastian Conelli. And as always, per usual, we got the cute boy here himself, Robbie boy. Robbie, say hello to beautiful people.
Beautiful people, what's going on? I'm very excited.
Very excited. We got a fire guest in studio today. I am very excited. This man is all fucking class. I am so excited. From class to trash. He has a very, very funny TikTok. Everyone should go check it out at Mora, M-O-R-A, than enough. At TikTok, you've probably seen him. He looks at paintings. He does the words for paintings. He also has a show tonight, if you want to go out and watch that, in Brooklyn at Easy Lover, called Drunk Planet Earth. So if you're listening to this on the day it comes out, please, please, please go support live comedy. Give it up for Brian Morbido.
Oh, God. Oh, God, that was good.
What's up, baby?
How
What's
you
up,
doing?
baby?
Wait, so
Yeah.
there's like a random stat that I always see that's like if you have 100 people in a room, then the odds of 2 people sharing a birthday
Yeah.
is like 80 to 90%. And I believe you're the first person that we've ever had on the podcast that shares a birthday with me. Well, you share a
that's
birthday with
right.
me, and I don't think anyone's ever shared a birthday with Sebastian. That's come on.
When were you born?
August 24th.
Prove it. Wow.
No.
Prove it? I got an idea.
Me and Brian had the same birthday, September
September
21st.
21st.
September
Yes.
21st. Do you know what time you were born?
Uh-oh, here we go.
You're older than me because I'm 29.
Well,
but I was
well.
born, I think, at like 2-ish p.m.
Oh,
I've asked my mom at least 10 times.
A post-lunch birth?
Yeah.
A horrible time.
And then my
for- to
cousin,
give
I have a
birth.
first cousin who was born 2 hours after. So me and my first cousin I have 2 first cousins born on September 21st. September 21st, huge holiday in my family.
Yeah, we got to go to Trampoline World, man.
Oh, yeah.
You know where I went recently? Have you been to, there's that place in New Jersey, American Dream?
No, I've been trying to get Sebastian to go for years.
Don't say you've been trying to get me to go.
Years.
He
I've been
asked
asking
me
him to go for
once
years.
on
It's
the
a lot.
podcast years
No,
ago,
no, no.
and the kid talks shit all the time.
No.
As soon as I walked in this building, he pulled me aside. He said, hey, can we please get Sebastian to go to American Dream?
I'm down.
This
I
is
love
my agenda.
malls.
He does what he wants to go.
I love
But we
malls.
lived
I'm
on Staten
all for it.
Island for a summer, and there was like nothing to do, and American Dream was like 10 minutes away.
He says we lived on. I lived on Staten Island for years.
We both lived
You
on
lived
Staten
on Staten
I lived on
Island.
Staten Island for a summer, correct.
I'm a Staten Island kid.
True.
So that was your go-to place? Anytime you
No, we
needed
never
it?
got to go. I never
Not
got to
even
go.
once.
But it was cool. You enjoyed it?
It's a great place. They have the longest water slide, I think, in America.
Okay.
It goes around the roof of this giant room in this building.
Okay.
Wow.
And they got one of those. They got a couple of those slides that go just straight down, where you just the bottom drops out and you shit yourself, and then immediately you have to beat your turn to
Terrifying.
the bottom. So scary.
Can I tell you a secret?
Can I tell you a secret?
Okay, you want to go first?
No, you go, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
When I'm on water slides, I slow myself down.
You have to.
You do?
You have to. You have to.
Baby.
Really?
Yeah, I put my hands down to slow down.
Damn, I'm doing the opposite most of the time.
Well, here's the thing.
I'm just
mass,
going like, let's get faster.
It's acceleration is mass times gravity. So I have more mass. So you have no idea. These water
flying.
slides. I'm basically fucking on the Red Bull team.
Yeah.
I'm hitting G's when I'm going down water slides. Okay.
I gotta tell you, I don't know that you're helping yourself. I feel like the water is, the getting rid of the friction, and anytime you're pushing against, does it hurt your hand? Because the plastic in between, that hurts, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
I
bad
don't
time.
mind. I go home with pain.
Yeah.
I go. Yeah.
So
it's-
water slide's not for you, I would say.
No, I'm
You're not a
scared.
huge fan.
Really? Are you a roller coaster person?
Not anymore. I just
Yeah.
saw the video of the people getting stuck upside down for hours.
Oh,
Ooh.
yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, what do I need to do? I don't need to do that.
No.
Have you
That's
tried?
human torture.
Have you tried chicken parmesan? That's what I do. Anything I don't like, I just go. You bring up anything I don't
Ever
want to do.
hear,
I go, why would I do that? Chicken parmesan.
Hey, have you ever had berry olive vodka?
Yeah. Oh, what a good argument, though.
That is how I feel about drinking. I don't really drink so much anymore, except for
Nice.
this monthly show we do, but only because it hurts.
Oh.
We're allowed to drink stuff that doesn't
Yeah.
hurt.
Yeah, I
every
know.
time once you drink bourbon for a little bit, it's you lose the feeling in your body and your heart. But the first couple is just they
Yeah.
suck. It's a bad time.
Yes, it feels bad going down.
Yeah, it's a bad time, guys. You just got to do drugs.
There we go.
Do drugs.
Brian, you're a
Yeah.
drug boy, right?
I'm a drug boy. Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about the drugs. You look like you do appear as a man that looks for his soul in the midst of the nights. You know?
Yeah. I spent a lot of time in the bathroom with the lights off.
Really?
Great. So what's your favorite drug?
Weed or mushrooms? Probably mushrooms.
Mushrooms are your favorite.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, weed is great, but I just know so many people, and you can have so many experiences where you smoke too much, or after a long time you're doing it, it starts to give you anxiety, or it's still smoking. That's not great. It smells.
I don't do edibles really.
Yeah, and then edibles will affect you differently if you're doing the sodas they drink. You know what I mean? And you never know how it's going to hit you.
Yeah,
and it's great, but I just feel like across the board, mushrooms are so fucking great.
So you could only have one. You would choose mushrooms for the rest of your life?
If I could, yeah.
How much are you eating? Because nowadays, I hate to call out the youth.
Yeah, would you
They're
please?
a bunch of fucking babies when it comes to mushrooms.
Oh, God.
This is the message. Eat more fucking mushrooms.
Eat more mushrooms, you losers! When I was a kid, we would slam them till we hated ourselves.
A fistful.
Yeah.
I used to put a funnel in my mouth. Yeah, I would say, microdosing is great. I took a little pill before I came here.
Oh, wow. Here we go.
Mushrooms.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, we're going to start crying real soon.
Oh, okay.
Because the thing is,
how much was in the pill?
I don't know, and that's the thing.
Mystery pill?
It's a mystery pill. We got it from a woman, and that's
Love
all
that.
I know about her.
Support.
Hey, sorry about it. Sorry to be an ally.
Yeah. Women in business.
You gotta support small business. But yeah, here it's how much is it probably? So like an eighth, I feel like is a normal amount, right? That you would buy, and then taking me would take a half 16th. Of that. Yeah. I mean, if you're really trying to go to hell, you know what I mean? You could take, I don't know, whatever, more than an eighth.
You think it sends you to hell more than heaven?
No, definitely either or both.
You go on a journey.
Yeah, you go on a journey. But what's nice is it makes me feel more emotionally available. You know what I mean? I take them before shows. I can't smoke before shows because if I smoke before, the whole thing, especially in improv when you're doing comedy, it's like you need to be present, and the whole thing when you're high is like you're just following tangents. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you gotta kind of follow a thread a little bit, when you're doing a show. And with mushrooms, I just feel more emotionally available. It feels like I'm already 45 minutes or an hour into a show. I feel warm at the start of the show.
This is interesting. This is why you do a show where you just watch Planet Earth.
Yeah.
You're really not trying to hide the secret. I don't know.
That's how the show started.
Watch nature.
That's how the show started. Where I was hosting an improv show at this place that used to be called Legion.
Of course,
a gorgeous bar, nails on the ground. You know what I mean?
Love it.
Half the lights didn't work. And the guy comes up to me who owns the bar, and he was like, "Hey, the band's after you canceled, so you got the room till 2 a.m." And I was like, "Well, I'm not going to subject people to improv comedy until 2 in the morning."
Yeah.
You know,
you can't.
And no, it's
but you were like, I am going to try to keep them here.
Yeah.
After my improv show, I want them here till 2 a.m.
Yeah, they had a projector.
They can't leave, but they don't have to watch me do improv.
You don't have to go home, but you also can't leave here.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, if anyone wants to hang out, I'm going to smoke this J on stage, and we're going to watch Planet Earth. A bunch of people did Molly, watched Planet Earth.
Oh.
And that was like in 2017, and I've just done it every month since then. And it's cool. So fun. The problem with the show is that I love the animals and the documentaries, so I'm just turned towards the screen, and my co-host is the one who needs to be like, hey, we're doing a show. You know what I mean? Like he's making jokes and interacting with the audience, and I'm like, my brother in Christ, you have to shut the fuck up. I'm trying to watch this seal.
Wow. I've never seen a show where the performer wants to not be in the show.
Yeah, I'm like, hey guys, can we all be quiet for a second?
That's cool.
Yeah, no, it's incredible. Those documentaries are unbelievable.
I got mushrooms from one of your friends once.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he did.
I had to delete the number though.
Yeah.
Because the person was like, I could get you anything. I don't need that devil in my life. I don't need that devil. I know I've met that devil. I don't need that devil no more. You keep walking, Mr. Devil Man. I don't need your style no more. I'm looking for a certain type of devil in my life.
Yeah, I think he's in Hamilton on tour right now.
Oh! Yeah.
Oh wow, that devil!
There we go. Look at me.
Yeah, he's doing pretty well.
Yeah, look at him. Maybe I should sell everything.
Yeah. That was so this was a show that we did in deep Brownsville in Brooklyn, and he was like, yeah, I've got this big backyard, and I got the stage in the backyard, and you can do a show here, whatever you want, as long as I promoted his drugs. So
pretty good deal.
It was great, but he had these massive jars of mushrooms.
Yeah, I know.
And I remember my dad came to the show, and he was like, Brian, I saw your friend walking around with a basket full of mushrooms. Can I buy one of those? I was like, it's not an accident, man. Yeah.
And then your dad bought mushrooms.
Absolutely.
And have you ever done shrooms with your father?
He has recently asked me if I wanted to, but we've never done. We've smoked together, which was great for our relationship.
Interesting.
But we have not done mushrooms together.
Interesting.
And
but you would want to. To
I-
do mushrooms with your father must be such a...
Yeah, it's a weird thing.
Do you hug?
We hug. He's a very kissy father. You know,
He's
what I mean?
Italian.
Yeah.
You don't gotta tell me. You do a lip kisses?
No, we do cheek kisses and forehead kisses.
At what age did you stop lip kisses?
We stopped tongue at, I think. I don't remember. I do remember getting kissed on the lips.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a frequent thing. But always, and even people who just come to our house, my dad kisses them.
Oh.
But always on a cheek or both cheeks.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'd be open to doing mushrooms with him, but I haven't done a full trip since I had brain surgery. And I have been a little hesitant to, but I think I'm open to doing it now.
That's good. I'm happy that you took us. I'm happy with that information and knowing that you just took a mushroom pill before you came here. Wow. I'm terrified.
It's all coming back. I remember it now.
You want to talk about your brain surgery?
Yeah, please, can we?
All right. What happened?
Well...
What can I say?
You have the floor. What happened?
Okay.
What are you gonna do?
I'm a true reporter.
I'll be here in the corner.
What? So you want to talk about brain? Go ahead.
right.
I'm gonna be on my phone for the next couple minutes.
Yeah,
You
do
let
you
me
mind?
know. Oh, look at this.
That was kind of the energy.
I was...
No, but I just don't know any of the details.
No.
Sure. Yeah. So I was having headaches every day, and they were getting worse for a period of time. And
Not good.
not ideal, but it's one of those things where, like, before you know you're lactose intolerant and you're shitting your pants every day, you're like, this is life.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you're just like, what are you gonna do? Until you stop eating cheese, and then you're like, oh my God. You know what I mean? Life doesn't have to be this way. And so I just had headaches every day, and I kind of like put up with it, and they turned into, I guess, migraines. And so I was like, I'm gonna get an MRI and get this checked out. And then I started taking iron supplements, and they went away. So I was like, oh, I'm probably fine, but I'm gonna go anyway. And so I went, and first of all, before I pushed for the MRI, I went to this doctor, and I was like, hey, I got this going on. And he was like, so here's what we can do. We can give you antidepressants, or I can give you this anti-seizure medication. And those are really good for migraines.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Just a fucking knows nothing.
Yeah.
Just a total whiff.
Just
Yeah.
a shoot in the dark. I don't know where the board is. Whoa.
Not even a drink more water or like
Yeah.
no question. He was like, and so I had to push back and be like, hey man, is there anything out? He was like, well, you can keep a headache journal. So I started keeping a journal in my phone of every day, how long the headache lasted, what it felt like, where it was. And these notes started to
I'd hate
be,
to read that one.
Oh my God.
Sounds like a real snooze fest, that
Yeah.
journal.
Oh my God.
You could keep the key, bro. I'm sorry. I don't normally just shit on guests when they tell me about how they got brain surgery. I seem like such an ass. Nah, go ahead. Keep going. Tell me about this brain thing.
So I get the MRI anyway, and then I get a call from him being like, "Hey, so you have a brain tumor, and it is pushing against your brain. It's called an acoustic neuroma, and so we're gonna get you set up with an ENT. Sound good?
Sound good.
Sound good.
Sound good.
Yeah, that's
sound
wild.
good is what when you go. I ordered this, and this from the Chinese
That
place.
sounds like I have a lot of questions.
Yeah.
What?
I was like, no,
Doesn't sound
dude,
good.
it doesn't sound good.
This was over the phone.
This was over the phone.
I didn't even think that was allowed.
Yeah.
Hey, well, guess what? It happened.
Wow.
And so I was like, no,
Damn.
what's going on? And she was like, yeah, we'll get you set up at the ENT. And he got off the phone.
ENT.
Ear, nose, and throat.
Ear, nose, and throat.
Yeah,
because
that
it was
doesn't
in
sound
my
like
inner
brain.
ear.
Oh, interesting.
It was in
okay.
the inner ear. Yeah. So then I had to do some Googling on my own to find out that it was a benign brain tumor.
Okay.
So the guy,
He didn't even tell you. You thought you had cancer. For a
Yeah.
minute.
I didn't know. I just
Yeah.
knew I had a brain tumor that was pushing against my brain, and he didn't tell me. So that was sort of incredible.
Can you get into a more casual seating position?
Is this good? Is this
He wants to look at me so bad.
It feels
It's
so
like-
rude.
I know.
No, it's okay.
It is rude.
I was warned to not look at
Yeah,
Robbie.
yeah.
You were warned. I fucking threatened him. I said, don't you dare.
Don't you-
I go, you look at me all fucking episode.
He said, that's my Robbie. So I was like, okay, fuck. What are you going to do? And
Were you scared? Were you actually, like, I mean, I'm a coward. So
I would be terrified.
it's one of those things where you just don't, like, it's not a fatal thing, but the consequences are you can go deaf, and you can have facial paralysis. So it'll look like you have a stroke because the facial nerve and the cochlear nerve in your ear are kind of in the same place. And when they cut out the tumor, it can go slack. And so that can be permanent. So I knew I wasn't going to die, but I knew those are serious consequences.
Yeah, for sure.
And you're an actor.
Yeah, and I'm a little thoughty. You know what I mean?
You
and
are.
so,
You're a piece.
Hey, sorry about it.
You're a piece. You don't even want to hear what I was saying about you before you got here.
Just filthy shit.
Complimentary, for sure.
It was complimentary. But I don't think you want me to say it on mic.
He's going to say it, I'm sure, eventually. No way we go an hour, it doesn't come out. Anyways.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was in a play at the time, and I had to spend every single day on the phone trying to get an appointment, with a doctor, with a surgeon.
It's so fucked.
It is so fucked.
It's so hard.
It was so hard.
You just have to battle to save your own life.
That was the worst. That was the worst part of it. Where if I didn't have a job that I could leave, everybody was very understanding.
Yeah.
If I didn't have a job where I could leave the room every few minutes, if English was my second language, if I didn't have the time, and I had to keep going because this was a time where doctors' offices were particularly understaffed. So I wanted to go to like Sloan, and so but like my insurance wouldn't cover it because I lost coverage because I didn't make $25,000 in union jobs during the pandemic.
Of course.
Because the Actors Union raised the minimum for you to have health care at a time when there were no jobs because everyone had the disease. So I was on the phone every day. And so I had to go in person. I was like, listen, if I figure out how to pay out of pocket, can I get a appointment? They were like, well, we need a written letter from your insurance saying they're not going to pay anything for you before we can confirm this for you. And the only way that you can do that is they have to send it to your primary care, and you have to get it from your primary care and give it to us. Primary care is understaffed. So you just have to go in person and be like, listen, I know it's not your fault. I'm sorry. I have a brain tumor. Please help me out.
Yeah.
And so that was really the worst part. That was over fear of anything. And so that was.
So if you're to say what's worse, a brain tumor or the United States health system, what would you say?
By far being on the phone with Advantage Care.
Wow.
Brave tumor, they snip it out.
You hear that, emblem?
It's afternoon.
Child's play.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so that sucked. And then it turned out that a friend of mine who's a surgeon, a neurosurgeon, was like, hey, do you want to talk about this? And I was like, I feel like I Googled it pretty good. And he was like, why don't we get on the phone? And so
that's great.
Yeah. And so he was telling me about, hey, you should try this, look for a new therapy, this thing where basically they put you under and they put headphones on you and they play clicks and they can register on their machine your brain receiving these clicks, right? And so that's how they know how close they are to your facial nerve or your cochlear nerve so they don't damage it, right? And it's had a much higher success rate within this surgery, right?
Wow.
And
Great
I
friend.
was like, I almost didn't call you.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to bother.
Yeah.
Because you figure that if you got a doctor friend, they got to call for everything.
Yeah. I figured, he's busy. You don't want to bother him. But I also was like, I Googled this pretty good.
Yeah. Also, if you don't take his advice, then you look like it's like, all right, maybe he has some.
Well,
but
you take the advice, Rob.
Yeah, I know, but I guess.
So I opted for the surgery, which you don't have to do. They were trying to talk me out of it because they were like, hey, listen, it looks pretty good. Its placement and how solid it is. You're very young to have this. So I think we can get it out without any damage happening. So I think you can actually keep it because it's a very slow growing form of tumor, right? So then you have the option of now I'm just living knowing that I have a tumor in my head and it might not grow, but I can keep my perfect hearing and I can keep, my face as it is. And I was just like, there's something about the anxiety, having this over your head, knowing that there's just something growing inside.
Yeah. And knowing that you could get it out now at its smallest point.
That's exactly how I felt.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I know there's a risk, but you guys seem confident.
Did they give you a percentage?
Yes, but the percentages aren't accurate for me because most people who have this are in their 60s or older.
Yeah.
And so, but they were like, it was something like 60% of people, if I remember correctly, I think have some damage to something or whatever. But I was like, you know what? I'm younger than everybody. This is small, is whatever.
Yeah.
So I go for the surgery, which is an 8-hour surgery. They just clamped my head down to the side and they, opened up. I still have a scar back here. And, they take it out and my hearing was good for most of it, but then they had to cut my cochlear nerve. They had to just get rid of it totally. So now I am totally and permanently deaf on the left side.
Oh, wow.
Because of this. But, and I woke up and they were like, it was tough because there's some like miscommunication. I have a video of it that's on my TikTok where this RN is like, hey, so good news. We were able to save your hearing and we saved your facial nerve. So everything's good. He just didn't know. You know what I mean? It wasn't not his fault. What are you going to do? But, I didn't know because I had a huge bandage over the side of my head and I was like, oh, whew.
Sure. And you're coming out of anesthesia. You trust the doctors.
Yeah.
That's what we're taught to do.
Yeah, but it's got to be so fucking hard to be a doctor because everybody's like, hey, when I do this, my asshole hurts. You know what I mean? And they need to deduce what's going on with you.
Well, that's why they make shows like House.
Yeah.
To make them, because we want them to be superheroes.
Yeah. And they're just like people who are trying. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Problem solving.
So
that's tough.
And then the ENT came up to me, who I really liked her because she had no sense of humor, which is like,
I love that too.
I don't need you to do bits. I don't need you to be fun with me.
I love making jokes and being returned with nothing.
Silence.
Too. Yes, because that's just who they are.
Yeah.
They're just like trying to stop. And then my goal is to see if I could break through.
1,000%. My fiance's father, he is in his mid-70s.
Fiance?
Oh,
I didn't realize you guys got engaged.
Yeah, no big deal.
Yeah.
Hey! I got questions about that afterwards.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
And so her father is Polish. He was blacklisted by the Polish communist government at the time. And he fled Poland. He's a physics professor. So English is his second language. Cool. And he would be hard of hearing if I spoke Polish. And the mother is the same way. They like me, but these people have not laughed at a single joke. I fucking silence with these people. Yeah. It is unbelievable. Yeah. I remember we were walking in the woods one time, and because they love to go on walks, and there was this crumbled building, this old structure, and there was a dark hole, and somebody had spray painted it over it, the snake den. And so I turned to him and I was like, I'll take it. And he just looks at me and then walks away, just leaving me alone in the woods. I was like, is it the neighborhood, Tata? What are we doing?
It's actually, because it feels fun. If someone doesn't, if they laugh at all jokes and then they don't laugh at one joke, that hurts.
Yeah.
But if they laugh at no jokes, that's just play.
Yeah, and it's so fun and engaging to be like, what's going to work with this person?
That's cracking the safe.
Yeah.
Have they seen you perform? Do they think that's fun or not?
Yes,
really?
they do.
Oh, they do. They can see that.
Yeah. They like it, and they're very supportive in that way. But when I'm in front of them,
off the stage, I don't need to.
They are.
We're
having borscht.
Too much fun.
And so this ENT had no sense of humor, which I loved. But she was like, "Okay, so we saved the facial nerve, but we couldn't save the cochlear nerve. You're gonna be deaf forever, but everything else went good."
She used the word forever.
Yeah.
Just like that serious.
Yeah, and she was like, just very matter of fact.
How long did that take you to process?
I want to say like a couple minutes where you're just like, oh. And then after a little bit of like, that is just, it's just forever. You know what I mean? Where it's like, I had concerns about like, am I ever going to be able to feel music again? You know what I mean? Yeah. Whereas so much of my childhood was, our basement is just wall-to-wall vinyls, and so much of my life in childhood is like, getting lost and taking mushrooms and listening to music. You know what I mean? Or even like in theater, and it's like, am I gonna ever like have that again? And I remember breaking down and like crying in front of my parents, which is like, when you're in your 30s, that
would be a hard crying, probably like every day for maybe a month.
I understand what you mean. To cry in front of your parents as a grown up is it's hard. I don't think I would ever shed one tear. I would only bawl.
You
don't ever shed like 2 tears in front of your parents as an adult, like a 30-year-old man.
Yeah,
I would only be sobbing.
And it's so hard for them because they were, when I go through the 8-hour surgery, you know what I mean? I go on the table and I'm unconscious. You know what I mean? And then I feel like I'm awake and whatever just happened. My parents had to just like sit and pace for 8 hours, and the surgery took longer than they expected.
They could have watched the season of Sopranos.
Yeah. You have notes for how my parents should have spent the time.
Get them on the horn. No, it is. I mean, I wouldn't be able to. I like my dad went under surgery. I like the whole time. I'm just like, he should be done this time. You know, you're just uneasy.
And they're checking in, and so everybody's got their own anxieties, and that's what was really difficult too. Was like, it wasn't that I was so afraid because it didn't hurt outside of just like having headaches, but dealing with other people's, especially my mother's, anxiety about the situation that I was in, because it's so hard for them. It's so scary for them.
People don't talk about that.
And it's tough for them because they were standing there when the RN was like, we saved your hearing, and they knew he didn't. And so once it dawned on me, they just had to like be there for me and be like, I know.
Yeah, that's tough.
When I was like, I'm deaf,
and did your mother react to the RN that made the mistake?
Yeah, she took him outside, and she was.
Did she really? No. Because I'm thinking of like what my mother would have done. My mother would have done. How fucking dare you? Are you kidding me? Why would you get my boy's hopes up like that? Like she would have a word with him.
Well, the only way, I mean, this is exactly how they are, but the only way I ever got an appointment was because, and I was on the phone every day, and I hate to admit this, I was on the phone every day trying to get an appointment, and it wasn't until my mom was like, can I help you? Like, let me get on the phone. She got on the phone and immediately.
Yeah, moms can do that.
Because here's the thing about moms, they don't give a shit what people think about them.
Yeah.
You're the priority.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do not
They'll
give
go
a
full
shit.
Karen mode
They
for
do
their
not
baby.
give a shit. No one cares less than a mother that has to do something for their child.
Especially medical.
Oh, medical?
Yeah.
I mean, even my mom, when it was about the time to get the PS2. What are we talking?
Well, my
a
parents,
Furby line? Are you kidding me?
Well, my parents are lawyers too.
Oh,
and so
goodness.
She is happy to, you know what I mean, not be shy about that.
Yeah.
She's throwing
flex
around
the
words.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow, Jesus.
Well, because my parents met in homicide in the Bronx. In the Bronx DA's office.
Oh.
And my mom started or helped start the sex crimes unit in the Bronx. And it was only until my brother and I were born where she was like, there's only so much of like, where did they touch you? So she like switched to the civil side. But my dad stayed as
that beats you down every single day.
Yeah.
But she did something beautiful. She like built a whole department.
Yeah. And my dad, stayed in the Bronx DA's office until he retired, but he was there, I don't want to say more than 30 years.
That's by Yankee Stadium.
Yes.
Yeah, those courthouses. I went to court there.
Yeah. What did you do?
Jumping turnstiles here and there. A couple open containers.
Guantanamo Bay.
A couple of pissing in the ass.
But yeah. So I only got the appointment because of her, because she was just like ruthless, about doing that. But yeah, so that was tough. But then after a little bit of time. It's just the hardest thing then was figuring out balance and how to walk again because you're in
I was going to say, yes.
Yeah. And so it looked like, and they were like, the only thing that you can do is just keep walking. You know what I mean? You can't stay in bed. You can't rest too long. Like, wait till the anesthesia wears off.
Sounds like some David Goggins bullshit.
Yeah, just keep walking.
Exactly.
I don't care. You're falling down. You can't hear shit, but hear me. Wow, that is, you just had to like practice.
Yeah, you got to keep going. But it was tough because it was like every time I would move my eyes, it looked like the transitions from that 70s show. It was like, you know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
And, but after a while, you get used to that. And then it's about locating where sounds are in space. Because usually the sound hits one ear half a second or a little bit before it hits the other. So I know the siren's coming from over there.
Uh-huh.
And now that's
your
gone.
Spatial audio.
Yeah.
Are you getting better at that?
I'm getting a little bit better at it, but
yeah.
now you just need to be more aware. Now I need to actually look at the street when I'm crossing.
Yeah.
Because I'll think a siren happened the other day. I'll think a siren is coming from over there, and then it just whooshes right behind me. And it's like, fucking hell, I got to look around now.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What about like AirPods when they only play like one side of the music? Like, what do you do? Most headphones aren't like evenly split with the.
I haven't heard a full Bon Jovi song since December.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you a big Bon Jovi guy?
I'll tell you, still amazing. Holds up.
You want us to try to sing one into your ear over here?
Yeah, so I got to switch all of my stuff to mono.
Yes.
Okay,
So it comes
yeah.
out.
And you could do it on the one.
Except for a friend of mine got me these headphones made for people with one-sided hearing, where it's 2 speakers within the one, so you can hear, because we played a lot of Call of Duty, and so much of that game is knowing where to murder the freedom fighters based on how they're shooting. And not terrorists. These people are freedom fighters.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that.
But it helps with the directional awareness because there's multiple speakers, so you can hear. And there's also a belt. I don't frequently wear the belt, but it rumbles based on where the sound is coming from in the game.
Where are the belts?
Where are the belts?
You think I should wear the
Where are
belt?
the belts? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Where are the fucking belts?
You're playing the game, you might as well wear the belt.
What do you what are you embarrassed? You're already engaged.
No, I'm already. Yeah, I'm alone in the house.
Yeah.
What are we talking?
She
here?
comes
Where are
in.
the fucking belts.
Unless it's
Just
annoying.
in your underwear.
Is it annoying?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, it's just a whole thing to plug in, and the headphones are great.
Yeah.
So that's how I deal with sound. And then I realized like you're afraid to touch the side of your head for a while because you got these big stitches.
Yeah.
But then you realize like, I still have nerves here, so I can physically feel a subwoofer still. I can still go to a concert, and so it's
that is nice.
it's just not a big deal.
Yeah.
I can feel physically the music, and I can still hear it. It's like I don't see out of my elbow. You know what I mean? This is just a thing that is not a big deal, and your brain really adjusts pretty quickly.
That's what's got to be pretty cool about just like how resilient the brain is.
Yeah.
How like much it can do, and that's wild.
Yeah.
That's so intense, man. I saw that when that was happening. That was wild.
Yeah.
And it was weird. Selfishly, I think I go, wow, I can't believe this happened to people I know.
Yeah.
I just removed you from it instantly.
This could be me.
Oh my God. What if this happened to somebody important like me?
I gotta be careful. We have the same birthday.
You know what? I'm brave enough to say it. I'm brave enough to say it. All these other
a lot of people probably.
All these people are feeling it. This is why they come to me, Brian. I'm brave enough to say it. I saw you at a braid tube. I go, Jesus, what if it was me?
I actually know that guy.
The good thing about that kind of stuff happening, though, is you get a lot of you didn't die in surgery gifts.
What was the best one?
Best one by far, thank you for asking, are these compression pants that I have.
Oh, wow.
Oh, like they squeeze the leg.
Yes.
I see them at the gym.
Dude, you got it. So you put your legs in these sleeves and you zip them up, and then it's connected to this giant remote, and it just uses air pressure, and it slowly squeezes your feet, then your ankles, your calves, your quads, and it just goes all the way up and up for 20 minutes. Just go all the way up and all the way down. It is fucking incredible.
Do they have a waist? Does the maximum waist size?
No.
Here we go.
Well.
Amazon
There's
Prime Day.
also there's a top. There's a shirt you can get. I only got. I got
you
the
just
pants.
sit and just
There's
get
a phone.
squeezed?
Yeah. It's
Oh, wow.
incredible.
Wow, that is fun.
It's very fun.
Because people like you're gonna be in bed a lot, so we want to make sure that you don't
it's
atrophy.
yeah,
Blood is flowing.
It's for exactly. That's what it's for. It's for circulation stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
But
Probably good after a leg day too.
oh my God, it's good whenever. Anytime people come to our house, we make them do it. That's what I spend any money that I have.
What a couple of freaks.
I just
Take
sit
your pants
down. Yep.
I turn my
sit right there.
I turn my
Can I get a
hue
glass
lights
of
to no. I turn my hue lights to purple.
Yeah.
I tell you to sit down. I'm going to change your life. That's what I spend all my money on. Any money that I have, I spend on like the Theragun, those massage guns.
Bro,
talking about it.
Bro, don't even get me started. You know what my new I just said yesterday. I go, I love just taking an edible, sitting up in the bed, just hitting the gun all over my body.
There it is.
Hitting the gun all over my body.
Suck me and fuck me. There we go.
Yeah,
There we
nice.
go. I got a machine for that too. No, I'm kidding, Ma. I'm kidding.
Yeah, I noticed those teeth in the hallway. Yeah, but those things are incredible.
Yeah, that's a nice gift. Did you get any like bad gifts? Or one that was like, why'd you try?
Yeah, there's really sweet stuff. A friend of mine sent me a Star Wars jazz quartet Lego set.
Oh, that's really
that is
cool.
fun.
It's very nice. I've never expressed an interest
In jazz or Star Wars?
any of those
Or
three
Legos?
topics.
Incredible. That's a gift for them. I would love this if I was in this situation.
He's like,
nice.
we're gonna come over and I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was very sweet, but
But
that is funny.
Some people are just bad, straight up bad.
Bad people.
Yeah, bad people. Excuse me.
Yeah.
I want to talk about today something that's very dangerous, Robbie.
Okay.
Something that is very dangerous. Trying something new that you've never tried before that is free. I was walking by this place the other day, and they were giving out free baklava. Have you ever had baklava?
Once or twice.
I've never had it.
Really?
And I'm a man that doesn't need to be discovering desserts this point in his life. Okay? I'm good on desserts. And they go free baklava. I said, I'm fucked.
Did you try it?
I went in and I tried baklava. I tried pistachio and I tried walnuts. And I loved it.
Okay. That's good.
I now have a tab at a place.
You have a baklava tab?
I now have a baklava tab.
They gave you a credit up front.
They gave me a credit up front.
That's nice.
You know it's dangerously good when it's free.
That's a predatory loan.
Bro, I'm in deep with the Greek mafia for this baklava. That free part of it became a dangerous thing for me. And I hate to put the people I love in danger, but I'm about to.
How so?
Sunset Lake CBD is giving out free gummy bears. Free CBD gummy bears.
Oh,
now,
wow.
I've fallen down the rabbit hole of taking something free, and now I'm a baklava king. I'm in baklava jail right now.
Okay. I love this. They're giving out free... How can you get the free gummies?
Oh, my God. I still have some honey on my finger.
Oh, nice.
How could you get free?
Yeah, how can you get these free gummies? This is dangerous. It's very much a you try it. It's a cocky move. I like this move.
It takes balls.
It is a ballsy move.
It takes
I
balls.
know you're going to like it. I know I'm going to make my money back on this free.
My free gummy bears are in the mail right now.
It worked on the baklava.
It worked on the baklava.
So how can people get the free? I mean, it worked. They've gave us some free stuff, and we keep going back for more.
It is a ballsy move. And how you get it? You literally just go to sunsetlakecbd.com. All you have to do is pay shipping, and they'll send you free gummy bear CBDs.
Oh, wow. Well,
Truly.
check out the free. When is it free? Through, I believe, August, they said?
It is free. It is good until the end of August 30th.
Oh, that's incredible.
You get free gummy bears. Truly dangerous. Truly cocky.
I love it.
I love it too. What a move. So if you want to check out Sunset Lake CBD, please go to their website, sunsetlakecbd.com /coupon /free bears to claim your 5-pack of gummy bears today. Also, if you just want 20% off generally off their Sunset Lake CBD products, use the promo code LOUD. You get 20% off your entire purchase, and you could cop those free gummy bears.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Beautiful. Brian, I'm so happy. You just came home from a trip, and you're one of the most well-traveled people I see online.
Oh, really?
You travel all the time. Well, I come from a trash land.
Sure.
Yeah, people travel. I seen some pictures of Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
So you just went to a national park.
Yeah, I went to I went to Yellowstone.
Can you tell me about it? Because I know I'll never go.
You'll never go?
Yeah, I'm not gonna fucking go. It's tomatoes, tomatoes, tomatoes. Is that the same?
I gotta tell you, you'd hate it.
I'd hate it, right?
It's not for you.
Oh God, it's not for me,
Did you
right?
camp?
We camped.
You camped.
Something to camp 3 nights.
Oh, wow. I like to camp.
Do you?
Yeah, I was a Boy Scout growing up.
Ooh.
So
camping, the fun
I
of camping
enjoyed it.
really depends on your equipment. You know what I mean? How off the ground you can be or protected from the, because when the ground gets colder, it actually gets harder, which turns out sucks.
Yeah.
And then how much of your ego you're willing to let go when you said you'd build the fire. And then the fire doesn't work.
Did you bring matches?
No, I don't think we did. We had a lighter.
At least have a lighter. Yeah,
we had a lighter.
Okay.
Did you go with another couple, or it was just...
We went? Yeah. So we actually went to Seattle for my fiance's sister's wedding in the middle of the woods, and then we went from there to Yellowstone. We traveled to Montana, and that was really nice. But they're on a
Montana. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, come on, educate yourself, bro.
Read a book, Rob.
Read a
what
fucking
the
book.
fuck is
It's
going
not
on,
in
man?
Wyoming, I guess. I
think it bordered. So
Okay.
yeah. I think it may border those two states.
I Googled. I wanted to make sure that never showed up by accident. I never wanted. Oh, how the fuck did I stumble into Yellowstone? Jesus, look at this. Oh, great. Congratulations, you geyser.
But it's an incredible place. So I went with my fiance and her dad, and then her Polish sister and the Polish sister's boyfriend.
Nice.
So that was really nice because every conversation is about America's obsession, workaholics, and capitalism.
Okay.
Okay.
And so,
Which that's not the worst.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's great. We love that.
But it's Yellowstone is fucking incredible. So basically, when Lewis and Clark were fucking around, walking around this country,
Did they really just walk around the country?
Yeah. They were one of a couple surveyors,
Yeah.
groups of surveyors that were sent out to explore the natural beauty of our land.
I bet you they were just mad annoying people. And then people were like, why don't you go look?
Yeah.
That's what my dad would do to me when I was a little chatty when I was a kid.
Jesus.
He goes,
Time for you to go to exploration.
I think there's an M&M outside somewhere. Why don't you go find this?
Lock the door.
Yeah.
From the inside. And so
Were they a couple, Lewis and Clark?
I don't think so. I think they probably did some unspeakable things to Native people, I would imagine. Because, right, Pocahontas was 12, right?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not
I think
ideal.
Sacagawea is that who went with her?
Yeah, well, she was also, I think, a young lady.
Yeah, that's tough.
That's not ideal.
Not good.
Yeah.
So fuck these Lewis and Clark.
Yeah. Well, in
I'm
fact,
happy I made fun of them instantly.
Yeah. No, these dickless chodes actually they skipped Yellowstone.
Wow.
But there was a guy with them who did go to Yellowstone, and he was like, "Holy shit, this place is crazy!" Because they saw these geysers. And they would come back and be like, "Listen, there's like water shooting out of the ground.
Yeah.
It's all these amazing colors, beautiful
I heard
canyons."
it's pee.
Yeah.
It's not geyser, it's pee.
It's pee.
Would you let a girl squirt on you? No, it's pee.
Grow up?
Would you let a geyser guys? No, it's pee.
Honestly.
All these fucking incels.
Yes.
I'll let a geyser squirt all over my face. Sorry, please take
No,
me
yeah, so Lewis and Clark. So this guy, he comes back and everybody's like, "You're fucking lying." You know what I mean?
Really?
There are not, because he's talking about these bone white trees that are like hard, and he's talking about all this shit. And so he convinces some people to go out. And who was the president at the time? Was it Roosevelt?
Yeah.
You just make up
Theodore
any
Roosevelt.
president.
Yeah, that's fair.
Teddy
Correct.
Roosevelt feels like the person that would want to do stuff like
Yeah.
that, right?
During the
So
Lewis and Clark expedition? I think he was a lot later, no? I mean, I don't know.
I don't know.
I think Teddy Roosevelt was before. You're thinking of FDR.
Okay.
Well, I don't know who I'm thinking
Country's
about.
young.
Yeah. 1803 is
So
Louisiana
young.
Purchase. I know that. That's where we can start.
September
There we
21st.
go.
Robbie's birthday.
9/11. What, we're just naming dates?
Yeah.
No, I'm trying to go a frame of reference. Didn't they explore after the Louisiana Purchase? Like it got
They have
purchased,
to
and then
have,
we
right?
had to explore, and then they came back.
Unless you're
So I'm
checking out the goods
saying
first.
You gotta check out the
Yeah,
goods.
yeah.
18.
You don't think they checked out the goods?
I guess so.
So whoever the president was.
All right, whoever the president was.
Basically, they go out there and they're like, "Holy shit, this place fucking rips."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? These geysers are incredible. It turns out it's the highest concentration of geysers in the world is in Yellowstone.
Okay.
And they had heard about geysers in other places in the world, but they knew that this was like, there are kind of a lot of these here. These are huge. And they were like, "Listen, we have to protect this." And this was at a time where they wanted to like give the country, show that the government could do something. You know what I mean? And like this was after the big war. And they were like, "We need something to come together." So this was the first national park that was ever established. And so to sell it to Congress, these guys knew that they needed to not just like convince them with words, but they brought painters, and they brought people to like paint the natural beauty and show how like unique and incredible this place was.
Yeah.
And they brought back mineral samples of these incredibly beautiful rocks to be like, "Guys, this place is real. It's incredible, and so we need to protect it." And so then they did. And they gave it no funding for a little while.
Wow.
But they were just like, "Fine, it exists, it's protected."
Fine,
and then with some funding, it was protected, and all the native people were kicked off that land, which is sort of like a complicated thing because it's such an important thing for our country. And now there's conversations about 20 indigenous tribes now having a hand in education around the park about their history and about their like culture in relation to the park. So there's progress being made.
Yeah.
But that's as far as I know how the
Sure.
park like was established. And how it got to be.
That was so great.
Yeah.
It was so great. You were so informed. I feel like my
know,
questions.
we're not teaching people much on this
don't
podcast.
teach them anything.
You literally have one question. Make up
Did
a
you hear me
president.
scream about squirt not being pee and who cares?
Yeah, somebody was screaming 9/11 earlier.
Wait, so this is a dumb question.
Yeah.
How high is the geyser go?
Oh,
Did you see any?
Yeah. We saw Old Faithful, and then we saw.
Oh, you did? Nice.
Yeah,
How
we saw
often
this.
they? What's the
Old Faithful,
verbiage?
Old Faithful erupts every.
It erupts.
It erupts every 80 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah. So some of them
All
are just
year?
like little bubbling pools all year.
Oh, wow.
Some of them are just little bubbling pools.
Of course.
You went
some of
swimming in them?
Unfortunately, not too long ago, a dog jumped in one, and a guy jumped in after them, and they both died. You boil, your skin falls off. The dog died immediately. Guy died shortly afterwards. But there's a lot of.
They're hot.
It's hot.
Don't
And,
people go like in the winter or
You
I
can
know people
go
go to like Jackson Hole and then they go
Yes.
to the
So there are rivers that you can go in. But the
Okay.
geysers themselves you can't go in.
Oh, okay.
I'm fucking good on rivers.
Are you? I am afraid of the open ocean.
Yeah.
we
Oh,
were
I don't
talking
like
about
that
that,
shit
yeah.
either. Oh God.
It's so scary.
I don't like that. I'm good on rivers. Like even nature. I'm like thinking you're sleeping in a tent.
Mm-hmm.
You're with your future father-in-law. You know bears are around. How are you not an open coward?
Well, I mean, the reality is like when you're camping in these places, other people are there, you're making noise, and everybody who is camping for the most part is very responsible about like putting their food away. And the bears are only coming for food, right? They're not interested in people.
What type of bears?
So there are black bears and there are grizzly bears.
Whoa, what are we talking
Oh,
here?
wow.
I've heard about these grizzlies. I've heard about them.
What's so funny, there was some poll I saw where like 60% of guys think they can fight a grizzly bear. A grizzly bear, just so we're on the same page, their talons can be over 5 inches long, just their claws, and they can bite.
Huge.
They can bite through cast iron skillets.
What?
They have a bite force strong enough to bite through cast iron.
I got a burn from a cast iron yesterday.
Gee, okay, so let me walk back what I said earlier. Maybe Sebastian, but the rest of us.
Truly terrifying.
It is truly. I mean, the size of some animals are. It's so crazy it's so crazy to see them. The largest bears in the world, arguably, are probably Kodiak bears that live in Alaska, and those are easily on their hind legs, 7 feet tall, 7 or 8. And when you see that, you're like, oh, that's kind of big. But
Keep them off hinge.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I hate myself. I can't stand myself. You're literally, imagine being my substitute teacher. I literally dragged you from Harlem. I go, tell me facts and I'll just make fun of them. I'm sorry.
Making fun of you, making fun of your search.
No,
That's what we do.
Before you came.
Oh, it's coming out now.
Before you came, I was like, Brian, I wonder. He has that appearance like, I don't need to know anything. You don't even need to respond to this, okay?
Yeah.
You just have the look of a man who's packing heat. Moving on.
Not big dick energy, big dick look.
No, you got the look of
Big
a
dick
man who
look.
has got a big dick.
Thank you. Let me tell you right now, it's mostly testicle.
Okay,
Mostly.
You knew something was big.
That's my six.
Not
That's my
small
spidey
down there.
sense. I got bit by a sex toy at Bathing Toilet.
That sounds beautiful, though.
The hubris of these fucking dudes that they could fight any animals
Nah.
is so stupid.
It's so fucking stupid.
You'll die from a fucking spider.
Yeah.
No, I know. We used to go to the zoo and be like, all right, could we beat up that animal, And I would be like, I would lose to the porcupine. I think me versus B porcupine is the highest I could ascend to.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, no, it's a rodent. You'll be good. You just get a few pricklies. I'm like, you don't know how much of a bitch I am.
Yeah, hard no, man. I mean, there are really, really immensely strong animals in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what? I wrote this down. I'm going to tell you something that's going to, because I saw it earlier, and I was like, that is fucking crazy.
We love a note pull.
Wow,
Absolutely.
A note pull better
Thank
than
you.
us.
Doing some homework for the
Wow, that's truly remarkable.
Okay, so how many giant squid do you think are about alive in the world?
Giant squid.
Giant squid, the ones that wash up on the shores. We see these the size of boats.
Oh,
I
I don't know.
have no idea.
1,000?
Yeah,
1,000.
500 to 1,000.
500 to 1,000.
Yeah.
I think these are like critically endangered, right? Because we never see them. Great. Okay. In a paper from 2013, if the estimated 360,000 sperm whales eat one giant squid per month, that would be 4.3 million individuals eaten per year. If it's one per week, that would be 18.7 million squid eaten per year. Estimates from actual samples suggest that 1% of the 700 to 800 squid female saurian whales eat each day are giant squid. If that's true, that means that 3.6 million are consumed per day, which means 131 million are eaten per year.
So there's 131 million giant boat squids that we don't even talk about.
Those are the ones that are eaten a year.
Eaten?
Yeah, so there's still a larger population
So you're
that
talking
is
about like
reproducing.
400 million almost,
Could be.
potentially.
That speaks to the enormity of the ocean.
We said 500.
I mean,
almost 500
fucking
million.
idiots, Robbie. We are two idiots. And I come on here and I lie constantly. I make up facts. I see a fact on TikTok. I say, I read this. Literally, that's terrifying.
Isn't that fucking crazy? And
Yeah,
there's
that
all,
is
like
wild.
we know more about, the moon than we do about the surface of our oceans.
Yes, I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so petrified by the ocean. I can't do that, man. And like,
It's so even being in a lake. If I fall off a boat or if I go tubing, I'm having a great time until the boat drives away and I'm like, well, this is it.
that's it.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I'm
I feel more comfortable on a lake, I would say.
I saw a
yeah.
video of like a river moving fast the other day.
I'm going
You're
to bed.
good.
I got nauseous. I
Really?
got nauseous.
You would never do like a whitewater rafting?
What are we talking? I'll be at the Cracker Barrel. I'll see you afterwards. What are we talking? I'm going to be playing that game where you got to move the peg to jump over the other one. Jesus. Did you see any animals?
Yes, we did. So there are bison
Oh, that's
everywhere.
fun.
These
Huge.
herds, yes, they are huge and they are everywhere. And it's incredibly beautiful. You just see these like rolling hills, bison. And so then around the bison, if you wait long enough, you see the wolves that live there. So beautiful. And then we did see a
Wolves
grizzly.
are scary.
Wolves can be scary. They're a lot bigger than you think they are too. You see
Yeah.
like, oh, I've seen a big dog, and then you see it next to a wolf, and you're like, oh my god,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to bed. This sucks.
And they move. It's not like you see a big dog. You ever see like a Great Dane? They kind of move a little slow, you know? These wolves are fucking moving.
Yeah.
They're muscular.
Yeah. No, yeah, wild dogs are really intense. I mean, I think African painted dogs have the highest kill success rate of any animal. And there are...
What about the hippo? I always hear this hype about the hippo. The hippo this, the hippo that.
The hippo is the most dangerous animal in Africa. They're very territorial and strong, but they are not...
Uh-oh, it must be from Staten Island. I'm so sorry. Just some fat loser. Don't fucking come near me. Don't make me get out of the water. Oh, just chain jiggling the Jesus piece.
Oh my god! But they are not predators, right? They're
They're not seeking it
They're
out.
herbivore. Yeah.
Herbivores.
Yeah.
Herbs, we could call them.
It's something like
From
that.
Staten Island.
Herbs.
A couple herbs.
A couple herbs. But yeah, I mean, there have been like the Air Force for a period of time was studying African painted dogs to use
What's an
their...
African painted dog? I'm sorry.
It's just a canine that lives in Africa. They live in small groups, and they look like they've got bright orange spots. They're a black dog with like orange spots and like
Cool.
round Mickey Mouse ears.
I think I've seen this.
Yes.
Yes. Now that you just
Yeah, they ate a kid a while ago in a zoo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
But yeah, the way that they hunt was studied and copied by I think some Air Force regiment just to I don't know, some training exercise, but it is incredible that like one will go out and then others will be stationed in the like flank. You could see drone views of this and it's incredible. The way they communicate, others are like stationed in different to cut off these gazelle.
You could like learn how to actually like plan warfare based on.
It's unbelievable.
It's like the I forget what animal they based the Tokyo subway system off of. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do. So
Please.
that was based off of fungi.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they put fungi into a maze with food, and then the fungi was able to find the most efficient route. And they were like, what if we put our city map over this? And we have places where, like central locations, and the fungi went on there and it found the most efficient routes, and that's what they used.
That's working smarter, not harder, right there.
Just like our MTA.
Yeah.
Exactly the same. These boys
The G
got their
train,
finger
yes.
on the pulse on the G train.
So you saw a grizzly too.
So we saw a grizzly, a mother grizzly and two
Oh,
cubs.
the scariest type.
Yeah, man. But also moose. Moose kill more people.
Yeah, moose are scary.
In Maine, at least, they kill more people than bears do.
You don't have to tell me. My mother told me we drove from Quebec City down to Staten Island.
Don't just stay in the car.
Well, she told me we're driving at night, and my mother goes, "Well, you know, if you hit a moose, that's like hitting a truck. You die instantly." I'm 9 years old.
I'm not driving.
I'm 9 years old. My father's driving. I'm just hysterically crying the whole way, just waiting till we see a moose and die.
Well, also, it's one of those things where, like, if you get in between a mother and a calf, it's not a great
For the moose.
For the moose, yeah.
I saw a video of a moose running at full speed.
In the snow.
They are terrifying.
Yeah, man. They are terrifying. And if you Google huge moose, you're not going to believe it. In the woods, these are really, really dinosaurs. They are absolutely massive. So we did see, we saw
one,
caribou.
I think, on a ski trip.
Did you?
Yeah. In Utah.
Scary
They're
shit.
huge, yeah.
There's that video too. I don't know if you saw of the bear chasing the woman who was snowboarding down the mountain. She doesn't see it behind her, but it's like galloping down the mountain.
I've seen one of those. I've seen moose videos on the mountains. I'm just like, I don't know what I would do.
You go.
You go as fast as
you go.
What
do you mean?
Yeah, head out.
Yeah.
So we saw grizzlies, we saw caribou, a lot of really, really amazing birds. We saw wolves. Yeah, and it's just such a beautiful, beautiful, incredible place.
Is it gonna be tough for you to go back and do this Drunk Planet Earth show now? After you just lived it live?
Well, it was tough coming back to my apartment a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it was like gross.
Yeah.
Like the apartment spot, but the area was just, it had just been raining and it was just like a little dirty. And when you're in nature for so long, I'm bitching about missing my cats and missing my bed. But then as soon as you're back, you're like, the air you can feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's so nice. I like to ski, so I go out to, say, Utah, and it's just like a totally different energy.
Yeah.
It's like,
New York's disgusting.
Yeah.
It's so hard because
sky,
I want
you
to be
forget there's
somebody who is
trees.
like
I don't know.
unapologetic and like, I'm not moving. I love Harlem.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
going
yeah.
to LA. Like all
Yeah.
these people, like I love it here. And sometimes it's hard to admit where it's like some stuff is getting worse.
Well, is LA the
Yeah.
move for nature?
No.
No.
Well, you know, people like going to Runyon Canyon and there's
But
stuff.
what about we got the Appalachian Trail
There's
right here?
so much in the Northeast.
The Hudson
yeah.
Valley. I see the commercials.
Yeah. I
see
just
the
mean in terms
I
of
see the
I've been to
billboards.
Bear Mountain.
Yeah.
I just
I
mean in
saw.
terms of like the people, especially in, you know, comedy or in acting, who will be like, you gotta get out of there. You know what I mean? You gotta come to LA. It's beautiful here.
Yeah.
You know, and I just so want to be that person, but I think in part Eric Adams too, I think has just really skull fucked so much of what we have going on.
He gets bottle service.
Oh, well, my mistake, brother.
Well, did you think about that? He does get fucking bottle service.
He's getting
Himself.
bottle service all night.
So,
Oh God, that Humpty Dumpty looking motherfucker. I so hope.
Oh,
I
don't
hope-
make fun of Humpty Dumpty looking at How dare you? How dare you? How dare you? I'm the closest to Humpty Dumpty you've ever met. How dare you? I can't believe you
there's a
called
TV show out.
I don't know if I'm upset that you called someone Humpty Dumpty or that you didn't call me Humpty Dumpty and that you think someone's more Humpty Dumpty than me. You want to see me fall down? I'll fall apart.
Please, no.
Wow, that is my dream, to play Humpty Dumpty. An adult children's play.
Yeah.
An adult children's.
I want to talk about art before we wrap
yeah.
things up.
Yeah.
It's so funny what you do.
Thank you.
With
On
the
TikTok,
arts.
yeah.
Thank you.
Very talented. I'm glad that you found a way to explore your talents and people can share with the world.
Thank you.
You're such a talented performer.
Keep going.
Yeah.
That was born out of really being so fucking bored
Yeah.
in museums, where my fiance loves going to museums, and I think because I have no facility or ability to paint or draw anything or do anything in my life, I am just like, I look at a painting and I'm like, oh, that's pretty. What else? You know what I mean? It doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah.
And so
Okay. Different conversation than I thought we were gonna have.
I thought you were going to be Mr. Artiste.
well, now there's a bit of like Stockholm syndrome where like now I have to go to these museums. I go on my own, or she's so happy. And now because I spend, I do everything in person, I'm spending at least 45 minutes in front of each of these paintings. And so
You
I'm
do it in
really-
person. You don't do
Yeah.
it in post.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Because the tough part about trying to do it in post is like where the people's faces are and timing. It's just not
timing.
the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And with improv, I just I'm not as practiced in writing. I'm just not as good or comfortable as I am in improv. And there's just something to, being in that moment and just honestly, what comes after this? You know what I mean? If this
And you
is true,
just
what else
like
happening?
you're bulletproof to the looks and the people walking by.
You just
You're
gotta-
just going doing your thing
yeah.
for 45 minutes.
Well,
'Cause
that's
I filmed
why-
out like a video in public before, and you have to just be like, all right, I'm just gonna
Yeah.
do this, and people are gonna stare.
That's why nobody else does it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like not
It's
only
embarrassing.
it's hard to be funny, but then it's so much
Yeah.
harder to just be in public and be like,
Yeah.
"Well, you're not the man that I thought you were." Daddy, you've not been the same since the war. And it's just it's mortifying. But
Do they know you at the Met?
some people do now. Yeah. People have come up to be like, "I'm sorry, are you that person?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Get the fuck." No, they're very nice.
Of course.
but yeah.
Interesting. What's the most famous painting you've done? Do you have a dream painting?
No, because what happens is it needs to be, I'll walk around whatever museum I'm in, and it just needs to be, there need to be at least, they don't need to be people, but it needs to be 3 characters who are in kind of dynamic positions, right? So
Mona Lisa, you're fucked.
yeah,
Go fuck yourself, Lisa.
sorry, sister.
Wait, what's her name? Is her name Lisa?
That's a good question. I think
What's
the woman had
Mona?
a different name.
have
That
no
wasn't
idea.
that person's name.
What does Mona Lisa mean?
I don't know. Look it
I
up.
don't know, maybe she was loud. I feel like,
Yeah, Mona. Well, yeah. What does that mean? Mona Lisa, right?
I don't know. I think the most famous painting I've probably done is the Venus coming out of the shell.
Ah,
That painting that I did.
there you go. Yeah, you do a lot of like medieval and Renaissance art.
Because those
You're
are
not
the
doing
easiest.
modern. Yes.
Yeah, because those are people who are again in like dynamic, or they're expressing something in a big way, and they happen to all largely be these European Renaissance paintings.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just a little harder with, I've gone to these like Japanese museums, and a lot of it is tapestry, or a lot of it is on these pots or vases, and it's just a little harder to like work with that.
Yeah.
So it tends to center mostly around Renaissance style.
And you'll travel places just to go to the museum, like you went to the Louvre.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Just-
Yeah. I mean, like, when we're in somewhere, it's
Yeah.
when we went to Italy, it's like, I got to go to the Uffizi.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I saw that.
Yeah,
That
went
looks
to the motherland.
definitely congratulations.
tremendous. Where'd you go? Tuscany?
No, she started in Tuscany, and then I met her.
Excuse me.
We went
me.
to Florence.
Oh yeah, the art. What are we talking here?
Yeah.
You should have done. Yeah. You got everything there.
It was an incredible. We went to Florence. We went to Cinque Terre. If you saw the Pixar movie Luca,
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
where
yeah.
Luca was based.
Okay.
Oh, amazing!
Cinque Terre.
So beautiful.
So beautiful.
Oh.
It's so beautiful. It's crazy. And then we went to Venice, maybe some other place, but Venice was kind of rough.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Yeah, it's a lot of just. I mean, it is built around and for tourists and a lot of gambling and very, very rich people.
And the
Oh,
boats just
interesting.
come in, the cruise ships, and thousands of people get off these cruise ships every day and just mob the city until the nighttime.
Well, we went on one of those gondolas, like a romantic, like, oh, this would be nice. We'll like travel. We'll get a little whatever. And so, I mean, it's just these guys' day job, right? So we go on, the guy starts whistling, it's pretty. And then the rest of the time he spends screaming at another guy in a gondola 8 feet in front of us, just yelling in Italian to his friend. And so like, we're sitting there like trying to have a nice romantic time.
And he's just yelling
Yeah,
about
yeah.
gossip.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
But yeah, so that was nice. But yeah, the paintings are fun to do, and it's so interesting on TikTok too. TikTok is so good about smelling when you want attention. You know what
Really?
I mean?
What do you mean?
Their nose has been broken for us recently. I would love some
I think
attention.
if you don't want attention, they give it to you.
Oh,
right?
sure. But it's
Yeah.
also like, I remember I was like putting characters up and I was doing stuff like, this is
Yeah.
a mode to like extrovert your talent and be out there.
Yeah.
Nobody gave a shit.
I know, it's just
Yeah.
funny because you're such a good performer.
Thank you. But, and then it's like,
now
nobody
people know
cares.
you for this. I'm like, you should see the kid do improv.
And so, you try it, and nobody, because they smell this desperation. And so like what really works most of the time is when somebody's just like, it comes out of a genuine place.
Oh,
They
yes,
know
I see
about
what you
something,
mean.
they care about something. It's like a little more authentic. So I think because this came from, I was just bored, you know what I mean? And entertaining myself. And then I
Yeah.
put it up. You know what I mean? Then that's sort of whatever. And for a long time, they were honestly like doing fine and doing whatever. And I was like, this is stupid. Nobody cares about this. And Mick was the one who was like, just keep doing it. It's fun. And then all of a sudden, I don't know, somebody posted something or whatever. And then that kind of blew up. So now I keep doing them. And now all of a sudden it was like this producer reached out and to write a movie.
Oh, that's fun.
Whoa.
Which is so great. We have the strike going on, so that's kind of kicking the balls.
Of course.
So we're obviously waiting on that. But it's one of those things where you just don't know where stuff is gonna come from. You know what I mean? And it's just like you can't. There's no, especially in entertainment, there's no clear ladder. Everyone's like, well, have you thought about going on SNL? And that's
what is that?
That's the only.
Wait, what's that about?
Well, just anybody who's outside of any family or people. That's their touchstone.
Yeah.
Sometimes even people in the industry.
I got a crazy idea.
Hey, listen to me, Sam. I've been thinking all night.
Yeah, slaving away for that 10%.
Did you ever get in trouble with like security guards when you were doing one, or they're like,
sometimes, yeah.
Come on, get out of here.
Yeah. For the first time, somebody at the Met lied to me because so anything that was made before 1777 is in the public domain, and anything also that the
1777. Is there a reason why for that date?
I don't know. But I do know that 70 years after the death of the artist, things also enter the public domain.
Oh, unless what if the family owns?
I think there might be different rules, but generally that's what my understanding.
Yeah, because I thought like the Basquiat should annoy me that it was going everywhere, but then I heard his family was getting money from it, which like I was like, all right.
Yeah, and so that's why there's stuff like you can, if you go to the Met, you can take videos, you can take pictures, but if you go somewhere like the Frick, you know what I mean, those paintings you may be able to take pictures of, but you can't take videos of. You know what I mean, because that's still under some protection.
Yes.
Or whatever. So usually at the Met they don't care, but the other day I was standing, I think, too long at one painting. And one of the security guards was like, hey, are you thinking about posting that? And I was like, oh, yeah, you know what I mean? And they were like, oh, well, I think they've been telling us that we shouldn't let people do that. And, you know, if it were a rule, you wouldn't be like, I think my boss said something about you have to leave.
Him trying to flex on you.
Yeah, and it was. I'd just politely be like, oh, actually, that's not true.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I spend every day of my life doing that.
You said that?
Well, I just explained the copyright stuff, and I was like, you know, and I'm you know, I've been at the Met a bunch, and they're cool with me doing this. But sometimes,
you know, that guy went home. You're never gonna fucking believe what happened at work.
TikTok loser. Yeah.
I finally get a job, sweetie, and I got fucking owned by some art dude.
Oh my god.
You owned him.
Yeah.
Did that feel good?
Well, you know, it's not to like, you know, put anybody down, but it was just like, no, because when you have the facts, you don't need to get upset. It's just like, oh yeah, no, this is actually just how it is. You know what I mean? No, I think you just made a mistake.
What a beautiful quote. Can you say that again?
I don't know what I said.
When you have the facts, you don't need to get upset.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh wow, that's such a beautiful thing to think.
Yeah.
That is a good point.
Yeah.
You see, you know, it's the same thing when, you know, I was teaching martial arts for a while.
I thought you were going to be like, what?
Like,
Okay, continue.
Well, and it's just like, you see the people who are quickest to fight are, you know, you go to emotion really quickly and you just want to like get physical. Those are the people who don't really know how to fight and what it's like to actually fight. You know what I mean? Once you have sort of like some understanding of what it's like to hit somebody and what it's like to get hit, you're like, oh, this isn't cool. This isn't fun to hurt somebody, you know, in real life. And so it's like, it's why in all the movies, the guy who's screaming or whatever, that's not the protagonist who's going to win the fight. It's the guy who's like cool, drinking his drink at the bar. Yeah. And then, you know, what Indiana Jones just like, whatever, shoots him. That's not martial arts strictly, but you know what I mean?
Wait, so you could fight?
Yeah. I haven't taught in a little bit because you know, some injuries, but yeah.
Sure. You're a black belt.
So in Jeet Kune Do, they do phases. So,
okay, what's Jeet Kune Do? I've never heard of that.
Jeet Kune Do is the form of mixed martial arts that Bruce Lee invented.
Whoa.
It was kind of the first form of mixed martial arts. Anytime you see like the Bourne movies or the Batman movies, those choreographers are all Jeet Kune Do.
What got you into those movies?
No, I always liked martial arts, and then I met this guy who became my mentor, who was the first black graduate of Carnegie Mellon, which is where I ended up going to college, and he was really into martial arts. And so while we were working on audition material for college, I really looked up to him, and he then got me into like just starting with Tai Chi. And he was like, well, I know a guy, so why don't you start going to this? And then from there, that's when I kind of like branched out.
That's so cool. Yeah, you had the right resources to get into this world.
Yeah.
So there are phases.
Yes. Yeah. There's, I mean, you know, and it changes because it's such more of like a modern form. There are different schools, just like anything else. But for us, it went, and you track your lineage, right? Yeah. So it was like Bruce Lee to Guru Dan Inosanto than to Chris Moran, who was the guy that I learned from. So there's a particular style of Jeet Kune Do that you learn there, and certain things focus on different aspects of Jeet Kune Do. Since it's basically Bruce Lee learned a bunch of different fighting styles, and he put together what he found to be the most useful and the most practical. Because you have these things like Hungar or like even Kung Fu that have just like years, centuries of this beautiful like art and culture behind it that's not really relevant when somebody's in front of you, when two people are in front of you with a knife. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so Jeet Kune Do means the way of the intercepting fist. And so it's basically like, what is the fastest path to accomplish our goal here, right? So like the footwork is actually pretty close to fencing, you know what I mean? And there are things taken from savate, which is like a form of French kickboxing, which really kind of like use the point of your foot to like target different stuff. And there's like grappling and Brazilian jiu-jitsu. So it's very, very fun to do. And it's similar to improv. It does the same thing for me improv does, where it's like you're getting information that needs to filter through you after you've trained a bunch, and it's just like, how do I instinctually respond in this moment when you feel pressure here? How do you push back, or do you let it go and like move to the side? And it's the same in improv when you're taking in that verbal information or physical. What does this mean to me? You need to just kind of like be in that state of flow and be in the moment to do well.
Brian, they say this thing that like, don't laugh at me when I'm saying.
All right, let's hear it.
They say this thing like, great performers, people that are great at improv, it's their job to be an interesting person. You've done that.
Thank you.
You are so interesting. You want to laugh at that?
No.
The way you your face.
No.
You are so interesting.
Thank you.
You have multifaceted in many directions. I talk about like how I wish I knew more about like an interesting person knows a lot about a bunch of like they're experts in an array of different topics, right? And you do that.
It's so interesting because it's like, the way to really be successful in what we do so often in anything across the board is to kind of be specialized and to have like purposeful practice of that one thing. Bruce Lee would talk about like, I'm not afraid of the person who practices 1,000 kicks. I'm afraid of the person who practices one kick 1,000 times.
Yes.
And so, that can be frustrating in a different way where it's like, I have, ambitions or goals in different areas, especially in entertainment and acting and stuff like that, where it's like, man, I could and should be, and maybe, I was before the pandemic, just like grinding, doing 5 shows, hosting 5 shows a month. And there's not the infrastructure anymore that there used to be of just like really every night you were doing a show, you were seeing a show, you were hosting a show. And so I did take that approach kind of during the pandemic of like, you know what, I just have to do everything. You know what I mean? You just got to do everything at once because it's like, I'm not going to regret. You never know what's going to lead somewhere, but I'm not going to regret being tired doing stuff, Christopher Hitchens, before he died, said something to the effect of, I burned the candle at both ends and often found it gave a lovely light.
Oh,
interesting.
That is nice.
Yeah. So there are times where I'm like, man, I should be spending more time. I should be working harder. I should be doing this like one thing and only this one thing to get really like what I want over here. But you just gotta do what makes you happy. You know what I mean? Gotta do what's around you.
And it feels like you really do that.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I could take a lesson from that.
Well.
Maybe you know what?
What, you
I'm
need a hobby?
I'm not gonna go Yosemite. I just
thought about it.
I'm bug bites I get allergic to. I'm a coward. I need air conditioning.
And this thing is fucking huge, man. You're driving for hours inside the park.
Yeah. I know. I thought about being an environmental engineer for a little bit.
Did you really?
Yeah, I went to environmentalist camp.
Oh, really? I almost dropped out
heart.
Did it really?
Yeah, I realized there's nothing that we could do that a single person, even if you work through government, it'll just be heartbreaking and it'll destroy you. That it's
I got to tell you, I mean, there's horrible news constantly, but there's really, really good news in other aspects and really hopeful news. Even in things like the FDA approving the first 2 lab-grown meats. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because obviously, from an animal cruelty perspective, but also just from
Are you vegan?
I am not vegan, but you know, I think
You try to
there are
eat
reasons
ethical.
that. Yeah, I eat ethically and so on and so forth.
We tried for a little bit.
We try. We
Yeah,
do.
But then our bank account went down.
Yeah, our bank
That's what's so
definitely
so
went down.
fucking true. Like,
you know, food desert. It's just like cheap food is, you know what I mean, not the sustainable food. It's not the whatever.
it's just an extra $10 per like meal or something. You
Yeah.
know, all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
nuts. But they're, you know what I mean? Like agriculture contribute half the land mass in the United States, I think it is used for just growing feed for cattle and for chicken and for pigs.
What?
And that's bad because it's like, yeah, it's land we could use for other stuff, but that's all monoculture. You know what I mean? Which is also bad, you know what I mean? And all of these animals are contributing with how much water they need or how much methane they release. And so it's like, I get why Beyond Meat or Impossible Meat can be a hard sell to usual meat eaters outside of the cost. But now with this lab grown meat, it is meat. It's just not from an animal, you know what I mean, that needs to be killed or needs the resources that they used to need.
I already see the problem. People are going to have problems with God is going to somehow come into play with this.
You know what, man?
You know God is going to be inserted.
You know God's going to fuck this up.
You know that God's going to fuck this up.
I know.
People are going to start talking about God, and I only want to eat meat that God made or some shit like that.
I got to tell you, what I lose sleep over too is like when they're like, oh, well, you know, God is blah, blah. Was he not paying attention? Is he not, if he's around making everything, did he just didn't see these gay people? You know what I mean? Like, it's, oh my God, we got to get rid of these for God. If God wants stuff to not be around,
yes,
and there's a God, then I think they can take care of that. You know,
God saw them making this meat in a lab.
Yeah. He didn't do anything.
Let the lab burn. There wasn't a big wave that took the lab away.
He's busy giving bone cancer to children.
Jesus Christ.
Well,
it's true.
Exactly, yeah.
But there's a lot of good news. You know, the Pacific Island garbage patch is being cleaned up at an extremely high rate now, and there's all these like carbon capture technologies, but there's also these energy storing technologies that are really incredible. I don't know, I'm engineering if you know about these like molten salt batteries.
No, I don't.
So a big issue that's been raised of like, well, we've got all solar power is now cheaper, you know what I mean, and more affordable. It employs more people than oil and gas, but like when it's not sunny or when the wind is not blowing, where, you know, what are you going to do? The answer is obviously, you know, we need batteries. But then it's like, well, you know, lithium mining is really problematic. And so what are we going to do? So now there's all these experiments, largely in Spain and in hot places with what's called
hot
molten
places. You mean like temperature-wise?
Yes.
Okay.
It's sexy little countries.
Sexy.
And so
The sexier the country, the more the batteries.
yeah.
I go, Brian's got a type. You go, Spain or where hot people are, you know?
And so it's basically they heat this sand, this particular kind of sand or salt, and then it retains that heat, and then you use that overnight or like when it's cold, because for whatever reason it's able to like maintain that temperature without boiling or you know, losing off, and it's incredible. So I think, you know, being an environmental engineer, there's
I went to environmentalist camp. I almost applied.
When he was in 8th grade. Now, how old are you?
No, I was a junior in high school.
Oh, wow.
But you ended up, you did study engineering.
Electrical
Engineering.
I studied electrical. Dropped out 3 years in.
Nice.
I just, it breaks, all that shit is so, I was working at the waste sewage treatment plant. Like, what was I gonna make electricity so we could clean the poop?
Yeah.
I guess someone needs to do that.
Yeah.
Instead, I do this.
That's the other thing. Nobody in time travel, nobody talks about how fucking bad everything must have smelled.
Always.
Always.
No, but I saw this thing about like sanitation went on strike like years and years ago in the city, and like more people died during that era in New York than other eras.
Really?
It was like the one thing that can't go on strike because the garbage would just fill the streets.
That's what in
there was
Paris.
horse shit everywhere. Yes, just in Paris they had this, right? Or is it still going on, the sanitation strike?
I don't know if the sanitation strike is still going on, but I know they just let the garbage pile up outside.
Well, there's a strike in Paris about it right now.
Oh, at all times.
It was, yes.
The French
Paris
are
is
so good about being like, we are not working.
I love it.
This will not stand.
I love that.
We could learn so much from them. We really just like take so much shit on the chin.
I know.
You like
we gotta educate these sanitation workers because they really have the key to the city. If you guys stop working and have these demands, we'll get these demands faster than any other.
It's also like, listen, in this last week we had the 4 hottest days successively on record in the world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That.
It's not a conversation anymore. You know, there are places in the Middle East, I think it's in Pakistan, that are forever changed the topography because of these massive floods, millions of people displaced. You know what I mean? Like this shit is happening right now.
No, it's gonna continue to happen in our lifetime.
also at the same time, there are people on the board of Exxon who have addresses. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These are real people.
No, I know they are real people, 100%.
And at what point
nobody wants to talk about that. Everyone wants to be like, oh, there's a system. There's some bad people.
I'm not saying...
And they have kids that live in New York City.
Yeah. And listen.
And those kids
and they get bottle
are bad.
Yeah, then they get bottle service.
They get
bottle. The kids from Exxon, if you're there not getting bottle service, your father's burning the country down for no reason.
Some of them live in the neighborhoods that we walk by. Like, there are bad people that are doing bad things and are killing people. And it's like, all right, this is a reality.
It's just, I mean, it's the same shit of just like with the whole opioid crisis that we have, where it's like
the Sacklers live in Brooklyn Heights.
Nobody went to jail.
What do you mean?
Nobody went to jail.
I know.
You know, no, people did go to jail.
Not them.
Addicts.
Addicts. The ones who didn't die.
People that were addicted to it, that would literally sell shit or commit crimes because, don't get me started on that shit. So fucking frustrating. And Narcan is illegal in a lot of places. That's great.
What is?
Narcan.
Oh, good.
Yeah. You can't get your hands on that. Put that in front. We regress.
Anyways, these people are real and do live in New York City, a lot of them.
And it's just to say, like, at what point is it going to be, like, crazy where it's just, it used to be like April showers bring May flowers, and now it's going to be like tornadoes in August, your dad's dead.
Yeah.
And... at what point are we going to be like, wow, we really should have said something to those guys.
Yeah.
We really should have like not let them eat it per se, every day of the week.
And you're soft if you stand up to that.
Yeah.
What are you, some kind of little liberal pussy? It's like, what? I'm signing up to a billionaire.
Yeah, but that's why there are places like, and listen, BlackRock and Vanguard are no heroes of the world. They control like the most money of any assets.
I would say.
But now they at least have the foresight to be like, from an investment standpoint, we understand these fossil fuels and these things are a finite resource, and now they are more just like coal. You know what I mean? Coal, there's no morality behind coal. It's just for the people who are in charge, at least. Not that it's not, those people didn't make an honest living or like weren't good people who, were just trying to do their best.
Those aren't the bad people.
Yeah, but it's like, it's not an efficient technology anymore. And so I think that's the benefit of technology
once
progressing.
They can make money off. Yeah, once people can make money off of it, then it'll be
people. Think about their pockets.
Their own
and
pockets
you know what? All we
can,
money. The best we can do in a certain aspect is just like make that make sense for them. Like Indiana, a super red state, has put funding now behind solar because your proposals were put forward. It's like, listen, I know you want to use oil and gas, but like, it's just run the numbers. It's cheaper, and it's. I mean,
in some ways that's good. Like certain things shouldn't be political topics.
Yeah. Most of this shit, it's so crazy we have to have a goddamn fucking conversation about any of this.
Yeah.
It's wild. Do you want your grandkids to live? It shouldn't be a political topic.
Yeah. Grandkids, and like, we had the 4 hottest days ever. Us. And on our grandkids, there's a lot of this like, well, what about our future? You mean next week? We're fucked, brother. Yeah. Like, we got to do something now. But again, there's a lot of really exciting shit like this. I don't know if you've seen this like wave technology where it's just like kinetic energy, these pads that are put on coastal lines or even out in the ocean. And every time a wave pushes it up, it generates a certain amount of just like a wind turbine.
Oh,
just like wave power. There's all these incredible technologies that are emerging out of the necessity. Just the internet, bro.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if you like subscribe to newsletters or something like that. Or
no, I mean it's podcasts. It's there's
from this people are learning.
Yeah, they're learning.
It's a lot about
we never learn. We're never teaching.
What we talked about last episode? The new phase of tiny bikinis.
Yeah. Holy shit! We should have pivoted.
It's so hot.
So we're behind global warming.
That's how we see these.
Yeah, you guys are adapting.
The bikinis are shrinking.
The bikini. I prefer a one piece if I can sort of be.
I love that.
One piece is.
I think a one piece is awesome too.
There's some sexy one pieces.
Yeah, I said this. I like a cover up.
Oh, that's fun. Oh my god, a sarong you're talking about?
I love that sort of thing.
God.
I think that's beautiful. Wow, we've hit it. Now we've hit it all.
We've hit it all. Thanks for coming on, Brian.
Yeah, Brian, thank you so much. If you're in Brooklyn, please go see Brian's show tonight. That is at Easy Lovers at 7 p.m. Anything else that you want to plug?
I mean, we do that Drunk Planet Earth. We got that Instagram. We do And Scene, which we got to have you on at some point.
Yeah, let me know.
We get actor friends who are on Broadway and TV. They do a scene and they're paired with an improviser like Sebastian. And they
Alex Dixon is on it. Yes. She's amazing. Everyone knows how great I think she is. She's been on the podcast, so everyone should go check that out. Please keep plugging.
Yeah, man. That's a caveat. You can check that out, but. Other than that, thanks for having me. Thanks for hanging.
So
Thanks
nice
for coming
on. Beautiful. All the people out there, please keep sharing the podcast. Keep comments on the YouTubes. We're trying to get more people to watch on the YouTube. So if you're listening, try out the YouTube one episode. We love that. Keep sharing. Yeah, that's it. Anything else, Robbie?
That's it.
Beautiful. All right, hit the music.